Walk into any gym and ask 5 different people how much protein you need to build muscle, and you'll get 5 different answers, usually somewhere between as much as humanly possible and a number they read on a supplement tub. Here's the actual research backed answer without the guesswork and without the guesswork and without the marketing. Most research on resistance trained individuals points to somewhere between 1.6 and 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, which works out to roughly zero point 0.7 to 1 gram per pound. For a 180-pound person, that lands around 130 to 180 grams of protein a day. Go much higher than that, and the extra protein isn't doing anything special for your muscle. It's just extra calories. That's the headline number. Here's the context that actually makes it useful. For decades, gym folklore has repeated the same rule. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, no exceptions. It's not a terrible starting point, but it overshoots what the actual research supports for most people. A well-known review of protein intake studies found that muscle protein synthesis plateaus around 1.6 grams per kilogram per day for most people, with some benefit extending up to about 2.2 for those in a calorie deficit or doing very high training volumes. Past that range, extra protein simply isn't building extra muscle, no matter how much of it you eat. Does your goal change the number? Yes, a little. If you're building muscle in a calorie surplus or at maintenance, 1.6 to 2.0 grams per kilogram is well supported. If you're cutting, lean toward the higher end, to zero point 0 to 2.2, since higher protein helps protect the muscle you already have while you're eating less. And for general health with light training, you can comfortably sit around 1.2 to 1.6 and still get most of the benefit. Let's do the math for a real person. A 140-pound person building muscle at maintenance calories lands around 102 to 127 grams a day. Spread across for meals, that's about 25 to 32 grams per meal, 1 chicken breast, a couple eggs, or a scoop of protein powder each time. A 180-pound person doing the same lands around 130 to 163 grams. And a 220-pound person cutting, trying to hold on to muscle, needs 200 to 220 grams, which is exactly the scenario where a protein shake genuinely earns its place. Now, how do you actually hit your number without living on a spreadsheet? Anchor a protein source to every single meal. Instead of tracking a running total, build the habit of never eating without a clear protein source attached. Use your palm as a rough guide. A portion about the size and thickness of your palm generally lands around 25 to 35 grams. Lean on a couple of high-density staples you actually enjoy, Greek yogurt, eggs, a basic protein shake, and track for just 1 week to calibrate your instincts. Then go back to eating normally. Timing matters too, but less than people think. Your body can only use so much protein for muscle repair in a single sitting, generally 25 to 40 grams per meal. Spreading your total across 3 to 5 meals beats one enormous protein dinner and nothing the rest of the day. And that 30-minute anabolic window everyone panics about, mostly exaggerated. Total daily intake is what actually drives the results, not the exact minute you eat after training. If your intake sits well below your training demands for weeks, recovery slows down, progress stalls even with a solid training program, and in a severe shortfall, your body can start breaking down existing muscle for amino acids, the exact opposite of what you're training for. The biggest mistake people make is chasing a number way higher than research supports, assuming more protein equals more muscle in a straight line. It doesn't. A second mistake is loading almost all your protein into one meal and getting very little the rest of the day. And a third is ignoring resistance training entirely and expecting protein alone to build muscle. Protein without a training stimulus to actually use it mostly just gets stored as fat or burned for energy. Do you need supplements? Not strictly. Whole food can get you there on its own. But a protein shake is a genuinely convenient way to close the gap when whole food isn't practical. So here's the bottom line. Most people building muscle should land somewhere between 1.6 and 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, spread across 3 to 5 meals, with a bit more toward the higher end if you're cutting. Beyond that range, more protein isn't doing anything extra. It's just extra calories. Anchor a protein source to every meal, track for a week to calibrate, and let the habit run on autopilot.